What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and wow, this is Sunday, almost to midnight here on Eastern Standard Time. The future markets actually opened up at 6 p.m. here, and we are up nearly 3.2%. It's kind of the first time on a Sunday evening when I'm doing my overall looking into the charts and what could happen this week and things like that, and then I'm seeing that the market's up nearly 3%. Basically breaking above the close today, or the close of last Friday. So we can go looky here. We're gonna do this guy right here. So this is where we are today right here. Boo-doo-doop. I'm just trying this new drawing tool out. Looks like we're hovering around right above this level here. This is a terrible drawing tool. Little drawing tool here, basically hovering here. If we can break above this, what we would love to see is basically a break above on the daily chart, above the 21. And then I just want to kind of give out a couple scenarios of what could happen, what we could look for, and so forth. So if we continue to go higher, again, we're going to have a lot of resistance up here, particularly at this level. Multiple days we failed, 4 days, multiple days where we kind of came down from there. You can kind of see that here on the pattern. Looking at a potential, again, no one has a crystal ball in the market. Not a single person. You and I, the Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, all those guys and ladies, they don't have a crystal ball. They are playing the odds. They're looking at the potential. They're just waiting for the opportunity to go short, long, or whatever, or just sitting cash on the sideline. So we hit the low on the 23rd of last month right here. Can we get down to that level again? Maybe. But we do have some support kind of building up here around the 24.45, 24.13-ish level on some of these lows here. I don't think we're going to get a full V-shaped bottom, but I could see a potential, what we see here. So we come down here, and then we kind of do a bounce, potentially maybe do some fib retracements, like probably here or here. So we could bounce here, come back down, so forth, kind of bounce around, and then potentially go higher. I don't think we're going to get to this high anytime soon. There's just too much unknowns and too many question marks in the market right now on the potential of what's actually going on. But the first, I don't like to focus on going 0 to 100. You go 0 to 5, then 5 to 10, and so forth. So that's the way how charting works. So for example, if this breaks above the 21, then you reset everything and you figure out, okay, new resistance here, the resistance here, it's above the 21. It's the first time in a long time that we've had that happen. We see some moving averages crossing over. We have the 8 and the 5 kind of curling up here. Potentially, if the 8 crosses above the 21, that is a very bullish sign for the trend and so forth. But again, anything can happen. I'm not saying the worst is behind us, but on the charting perspective, we can go look at a little bit of a longer dated chart here. My bad. Let's go here, go to the weekly, and you kind of see here I have this really strong support here at 21.41. That basically goes back to all the way over here in the 16-17 time frame, the year of 2016 and 2017. A lot of capitulation and so forth there. You can see here, so we did break above the low in December of 18. That was quite significant. A lot of people predicted again, no crystal ball involved. They broke below that, of course, and then we kind of really rallied. Again, this is a weekly chart, so the last 3 weeks it's been green, and this is the potentially this week, if we close above this week, as high or get above the the 5 exponential moving average here and start building our way up, I can see us getting some resistance at 26.62. So let's go back to the daily chart, and I bet you the 26.62 has to do with some kind of fib retracement. So let's go here. 26.62 is going to fall a little bit short. Let's actually edit this one, and we're going to turn on the 38 and this one. Okay, we're just going to save as default, sure. And what did I say? 26.62. So that kind of falls into the line of the 26.37 that I already have here. So let's, what was the 26.6? 26. That was 26.666. So kind of completely there. So it's kind of in between these various fib retracements as we've shown before. So potentially, if the market continues to go up, we could see a nice little line of support here, or sorry, resistance on the way up, and then potentially seeing a slightly pull down, not to the low of this, but maybe this low here. And if this holds, we see a nice little bounce, potentially even higher. But there will be a time, again, I don't know when people get a little too overconfident, and they're just kind of shoving in money, thinking everything is done and everything's gun-ho, and let's go back to how it was 6 months to a year ago. Basically go back to October, November, where the market was just going straight up like this. The time is going to come, I just don't know when, where people get a little too overconfident and things just kind of move up too fast, and that's usually when you get a little flush back to one of these particular movements that we have set on the way up. Again, we'll find out when that time frame comes. Again, no crystal ball involved in this. It's just trying to understand what could happen this next week. And then for the short side of things, let's go back to the daily here. Gonna give you a little bit of perspective here. Short side, so anything closing the 24.41 or 24.13 are potential pullback support levels here, and of course we don't want, if you're long, you don't want things to kind of tear down and go completely short and test the bottoms. Again, we clearly could, because we just don't know what could happen, but that bottom is quite far away. So we're basically from the bottom to where we're sitting at today, we're basically looking at a 20% rally. So a lot of charting and understanding is maybe we can get a 25. Let's see what a 25% looks like. Let's bet it's up here. So that's a 20. So I put that 20, and this is probably 25. Yep. So if we get to this level, the 27.13, probably 27.10 ish, could be a potential sign of, once we break this and continue to go higher, this could be some more resistance on the way up here. The moving averages are slowly coming off and kind of forming a slower, not of a nosedive, but more of a flattening pattern starting to curl up. The thing is that you have all these moving averages well below the 200, and they just need to start coming off of that. If we look at this chart here, this is basically also a daily chart of the futures. Momentum is shifting higher, which is great. This is the red into yellow here. RSI has been holding steady, which is great. We do want the Chaikin money flow to start curling up and getting into the positive territory. That would be a sign of a lot of the larger investors putting their money back into the market and participating in this new potential, more of a bearish market heading forward. This is another chart that I enjoy to look at, is that the white basically means capitulation and potentially a lot of selling, a lot of buying, so it doesn't know which way direction to go. Of course, red means not so good, and blue means potentially building a new start. So you can see that here, just even in smaller trends here, when the trend charts change, you can kind of see it kind of bouncing around and so forth. Here, you can see it here as well. I want to pop this out on a longer time frame to kind of give you a little bit of reference. On the weekly, we really haven't touched it. If this on the weekly starts printing a really nice white tick right here, like with a long tail on it, a lot of the times it has a long tail on it. It has a nice little potential to push higher. As you can see here, usually when it kind of catches up to like the 27.30 or the 26.55, potentially this will turn white, and we'll maybe start seeing some more buying, and a lot of the volume, instead of being red on the weekly side here, will be turning green, meaning there's more buyers jumping into the market. Again, no crystal ball involved here. We're just looking at what potentially could happen and so forth for the coming week, but it is great news for the bulls and the long-term bulls that we have a 3% move already intact. This could be a lot of issues too. There's a lot of things going on with Russia and the Middle East with oil prices. Of course, we're still battling the COVID-19 stuff. New York is a complete war zone for them in their healthcare system, on how many people are needing ventilators and supplies, and we're just trying to do our best here in the United States. And thank God, a lot of things in Italy has slowed off, so we'll just see what happens, and we'll check back in probably the next couple days. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.